One of the most polarizing things a TV show can do is have an exposition dump based episode. These can make it or break it for a lot of people, as you are giving the big revelations people want to see, but you're not doing it in a way that really falls into the story. You're basically grinding everything to a halt to give you all this exposition. And the thing is, this has sometimes succeeded, made, or break the series. Madoka Magica is one example of where it didn't work, because the thing was that the revelations we were getting were way too over the top and way too crazy and way too abstract for it to work in the narrative that had been established. In another example of it going wrong, in Code Geass, there were so many crazy plot points and all this insanity going on that by the time we get these revelations, even though it was necessary and important to know what was going on, it was so underwhelming, because by that point you're either more invested in what's been going on besides this, or you've just completely lost interest in just watching flashing lights on the screen. But if you want an example on how this is done correctly, watch this episode of Yugioh. Oh my god, this was so good. They did it. They made a big exposition dump episode work, and it worked great. Oh god. If I were to pick, just getting it out of the way real quickly, one nitpick, or more just kind of a plot contrivance, is Yugioh being like to Edo, "You go save my girlfriend, I'll take care of this guy." I sort of feel like Yugioh would have done the opposite. He would have been like, "You do this, I'm gonna go save Rin," but on the one hand, you need Yugioh to duel Yuri, and the other thing is that Yugioh, he doesn't obviously know this building. Edo does. It would make more sense for Edo to go do it, while he takes care of Yuri, who he's already seen a bit of his strategy, so he has an idea what to do going into the duel. But again, if that's my only real problem, it's just the fact that doesn't feel like something Yugioh would think up. He'd probably just be like, "I'm going to go save Rin. I don't care if you're in my way, my weird gay twin." But again, that's all I got to say. That's great. Everything with the revelations from Dr. Akaba worked. It all made sense. It all fit in this world. We all knew that at one time the world was one thing, because that was the greater Yu-Gi-Oh universe. And what's great is they just flat out say it. It's not like a big reveal of, "We were all together." No, the audience respects your intelligence, or at least the show respects the audience's intelligence to figure this out for themselves. They know we figured at some point this was one united world. Even if you're not a fan of the other Yu-Gi-Ohs, you could probably figure that. So that was really well done to us. And on top of that, I liked the future they presented. I liked it was way further than anything we've seen of the Yu-Gi-Oh universe. So I'm correct. The furthest we've gone into the future before this was the second half of 5Ds, when we saw what that future was like, which I'm pretty certain is the same thing. The monsters just became real. And what is it like? The power of synchro monsters created some sort of unbalance or something. You can make the argument it's a similar thing here, but I mean, again, plots get recycled all the time. And honestly, this is being presented better than the 5Ds one. So, what we get is that Dr. Leo, he was working on Solid Vision, and I like the idea that the Duel Monsters card game, I like he referred to it as this thing that was just there. It's not sort of like, "We did this for this." No, we were already using this technology. It was already here. This was just a good way to further the use of it. And I think that is really smart to present it like that. And I really quite enjoyed showing it to us in that very sort of relatable, shareable format. Also, I liked the way they brought in the monsters having personality and a soul and intelligence. The way they bring it up of simply, we gave them a body, they just decided to use it. That's really clever, especially because it's not this big horrifying revelation. It's just a sort of standard, this is what we found out. This is the way it went. We as the audience know there is a supernatural element because of the way the boys work. So the thing is, we don't need these big scary revelations. Just present it to us and confirm what we know. It keeps us in the story, it keeps us in the plot, and it keeps us going. And on top of that, I sort of like the fact that the future looked so much bigger than what we can imagine, not just a standard city. It really does feel like this is so much further, and it sort of makes the universe feel all that more jumbled that all these different technologies and timelines are happening at once, which I think is also a really neat plot point. And then we get into how things went wrong for what's his name, Zark. Why didn't they show the face? We know he's got the same face as the other boys, just a little bit older looking, so why not just get right into that? But whatever. I like the idea that he too wanted to entertain, and I like the fact that it became an issue that people could get hurt from the Solid Vision holograms. I like the idea that as he went, and the thing is, he started out good, but he's like Yugioh. He wanted to entertain. And when you want to entertain, you have the desire to get bigger. Look at our entertainers for a minute. Look at how we pressure and put them. I know that sounds maybe a little misogynistic, but it's true. Let's take a look at Kanye West. Everyone can't stand this guy. Everyone finds him annoying, and he says all these stupid things, and he's married to Kim Kardashian and all that stuff. But, we forget for a minute. The only reason he doesn't go away is because we keep eating it up. We keep talking about it. We keep buying the tabloids. We keep doing all this and that. Or look at athletes. A lot of them feel the pressure to push themselves harder and to get stronger. And sometimes that means going even further. Plus the money and all that stuff. We have these pressures in our real life society. So I think that was represented very well here. I could see it going to this level. I could see it getting pushed this far. Look at our presidential election, for Christ's sake. So I think that is also really well shown to us. I also like the fact that he just naturally had Fusion, Synchro, and Xyz in his deck. Like, no, this is just what he did. There's no sort of big over-the-topness to it. He was just like any other duelist. He wanted to make his deck stronger. And that all makes sense. I also love all the monster cameos. My boy Blade Armor Ninja showed up in this episode. Assault Mode showed up. It's always cool to just see stuff get referenced. I'd love to see things get actual duels, but I'll settle for this. We also saw, I like that Dr. Leo was presented fairly relatable. I think this will go down as one of the weaker Yu-Gi-Oh villains, but it was definitely neat to sort of get an idea of who he was. I love how Yugioh owns every scene he's in this show. The visual animation, all of that stuff really fits and gives him a lot of character to him. And also, I like the scene where the universe was basically broken up. We don't know exactly how it does, but the fact that they brought the magicians into it and the dragons, I thought was really neat. Again, it's not this big, over-the-top, horrifying thing. I mean, it is horrifying. The universe got destroyed. But all these revelations are not presented in an over-the-top manner. They're just part of the story that's happening, and it all makes sense, and it all fits. And, oh, God, it was just so good to see an exposition episode that was actually entertaining and engaging. You guys just have no idea how much I was looking forward to that, and I can't wait for next week to get the second half of the story. But what did you think? In the comment section below, give me your thoughts on this episode, where you think it's going, and what you think of the whole Zark and the dragons and all this stuff. And as always, click to like and click to subscribe. And for our TCG question of the week, ABCs are almost upon us. I think they come out next week or this coming week or whatever. I want to know, are you playing this deck? And if you're not, what are your counters? Are you going to go with Ally of Justice Quarantine to stop from summoning? Are you just going to keep a Vanity sided? What is your plan for dealing with Union monsters being the top deck? And as always, oh wait, I already said that part. This is awkward. I got mixed up and I don't have an ending. Bye.